So 7:01, we'll call the meeting to order. 7:02 now. Regular meeting of the Mount Holly Planning Commission for Wednesday, June 19. First order of business, any changes to the agenda? And I believe we have one, at least. That is, we're going to table the discussion about the Garrow subdivision for the moment, correct?
I understand that was a request of Mr. Garrow's attorney, Chris Corsones.
Yeah, I believe
Sorry?
I think Faith sent around a message from the attorney.
Who all received that message? Did we all?
Sorry, I just sent it to John so that he could decide how to put it in the agenda.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. I meant to send it to everybody. So the attorney requested that we delay further discussion on the subdivision until the Act 250 process has at least begun.
And your draft.
Yeah, John, you want to take a moment to discuss the proposed response to Mr. Corsone's letter?
Yeah, let's just drop that into the spot that the Garrow subdivision would have had. How does that sound?
Certainly fine with me.
Okay. So apologies to anyone who was expecting a robust discussion about that subdivision again, but we'll put that off for the time being. But there will be some discussion about a response to their attorney. Any other changes to the agenda? Okay. Hearing none, we'll call that approved with that amendment. And I believe we have one set of minutes from May that were distributed. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to review that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Are there any objections to approving those minutes?
None here.
Okay.
Did you? No.
All right. Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Thank you. We'll jump into the administrative officer report. Do you have anything?
Yes, we've had several building construction registrations known on Hillville Road. A timber frame shed, 7.5 by 6 feet, 13 feet high. Bon Giovanni at 3560 Vermont Route 155, a 17 by 24 camp. Olson at Alpine Drive, an 8 by 16 dropped shed. Stevens.
Does drop mean prefab? Just
Yeah, like on the Amish don't want they can trailer.
Okay, thank you.
Stevens, 1698 Shumpike Road, a 55 by 110 foot garage for storage and equipment. And then one which I would also like to raise another issue, Patch on 256 Greenstone Road. Mr. Patch has submitted a BCR for construction of a new building on the existing foundation of a building that he demolished previously. He did look at the state regulations and realised that his property is in a flood hazard area and potentially also a river corridor. And he did come in to see me to ask my advice. We are currently in a conversation with Kyle Medash, the district floodplain manager, because it is my understanding that Mr. Patch will require a town permit based on our flood hazard regulations. It is his interpretation that he wouldn't, but we are trying to work with Kyle Meadows to clarify that situation. Well, that's that one. And one other item that was brought to my attention by the town clerk after she received a visit from a representative of Green Mountain Power regarding a potentially significant development on Hillville Road at the newly named Birch Run, previously the Unterman property.
Just above the Blue Farm.
Right.
Yeah. The Green Mountain Power representative had called in because the owner of the property was insistent that they need additional power very, very quickly for what appears to be possibly either 1, 4, or 7 residences. Since I have not received...
On a single piece of property, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a large piece of property, but since I have not received any information directly from the owners of this property, I am sending them a letter, because that is the only information I have, the postal address, requesting that they complete the building construction registration form, following which we may need to have additional communications with them, depending on what it is that they're actually...
And who are the current owners?
The only information I have is Birch Run Limited Liability Corporation. I did, since it is a town highway, I did drive up the road, which is almost a mile long, which has been recently rethought. So I assume some significant investment is being made. But I will send that and see what comes of it. So that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you. I think I have 2 quick things. They're legislative updates. So the new open meeting law was passed. I apologize, I'm getting such a big echo. I'm going to try to work through it.
Not hearing it here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on my side. The new open meeting law was passed. We're going to have to figure out what that means for us. I think there's probably a little bit of a grace period for when it has to be implemented or whatever. But the other thing is the Act 250 update just recently passed, or a veto was overridden, and it's going to be law. One of the main changes there, with respect to the report Faith just gave, is there's a new road rule. So long roads and long driveways trigger Act 250. And they used to in the old days, but they didn't for a while, and now they do again. Something to keep an eye on. And then there's sort of relaxed rules around development in village centers that could be helpful for getting better affordable housing and whatnot. So I think that's about it for me. So let's just jump into the next item.
Did they say when the open meeting law will take effect? Because
I don't know when it does. I have it's I'm sure it's published. I should note that the Regional Planning Commission has very soon, I think, has a seminar or training on the new law and what it means for local boards. And I'll have to see if I can attend that. To my schedule.
the summary on it, one of the things they said, I believe it was 3 or 5 days, I've forgotten which, you have to post your minutes.
Well, the minutes that's been in the law for a long time, but right now the new thing is posting the videos. So we're going to have to work with Okemo Valley and see how we will do that. And there's some things to figure out. The other thing is that all chairs of boards must attend open meeting training. So I've attended several, but I have no problem doing more. So, all right. So there's nothing more on that. Let's get into the Cole subdivision application. Faith, do you want to give us a quick recap on where we stand, what you have?
In terms of subdivisions?
Of where we are with the application of the Cole subdivision.
Okay, so we've received the application from Hunter Cole as the agent representing Keith, Dawn and Dawson Cole for a subdivision on Cole Road from 1 to 3 parcels. Mr. Cole has submitted an application which I judge to be complete. He has also submitted wastewater permits and has 2 sketch plans, one of which has been prepared specifically for this proposed subdivision. Another was prepared in 2012, based on thinking then that there would be a subdivision. So the one question that was outstanding was there had been some problems with the state's permit navigator, which apparently have now been resolved, and Hunter has confirmed to me, and I assume he had a copy of the permit navigation results that he was able to produce yesterday. I think, John, you have electronic copies of everything. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm looking at the plats now. Just so I understand it better, the proposal that's before us now is the 2024 one. How does it relate to the 2012?
Perhaps it would be useful if somebody explained.
My point was the one you sent out didn't have the address. The electronic one, you didn't see the address in form. It had the tax ID number and all that other stuff. First time this year. I know, I won't go to my head.
Is that referring to that 911 address?
Yes.
Okay.
Dawson's is 840.
Perhaps one thing you could clarify for me, because I couldn't tell from the paperwork. Is this a proposal to create 3 parcels or 1?
3 parcels ideally. Yeah. So, and I don't know, you've sort of heard the chronology. I don't know how much that would be helpful, or if I should just lay out.
I think that would be helpful for
Okay.
the commissioners.
Okay. So there was a 2008 annual survey that split up the farm after my great grandmother passed. And then the parcel was owned by initially John Cole and Norm Cole. My father, Keith Cole, had a quitclaim, I believe, that gave him Norm Cole's ownership of the parcel with John Cole. Initially, sort of the dividing line down the middle was sketched out to hopefully at one point divide the 2 parcels. And then there was a 3rd parcel, which in this map is parcel number 1, that was split off under the assumption that Steve Connors would buy a property, or rather buy that and have a house there. That didn't end up happening. So the sort of parcel was laid out. However, we'd essentially like to get rid of the line between parcel 1 and 2, or at least pretend it's not there. And then recently, parcel 4 was created, which runs along the line separating parcels 1 and 2, as well as 3. Goes along the southern boundary of the GMP easement, and then runs north to Cole Road.
Could you perhaps just trace with your finger where so you're saying the line between 1 and 2 would disappear? Is that what you're?
Ideally, yes. So this will all be.
That's what you're proposing?
Yes. So this would be owned by Dawson Cole.
And what would be the new lot that you propose to create?
Current map.
Yeah,
This-
right there.
Is this what you're proposing?
Correct.
Okay.
However, so perhaps there was miscommunication there as well. This was never registered. So currently it is just one parcel.
Okay, do we want to just look at what they're proposing to do?
Yeah,
The past, because
And you didn't go through a subdivision permit process for this with the town, did you?
No, so we were hoping to register this map and that at the same time.
But if that doesn't reflect what you want to do.
It reflects it for multiple parcels. This is just taking a chunk out of parcel 3.
I guess that's what has me confused.
well, I think we need to, what Amy's trying to say is that we need to look at what's currently there and then what you would like to do on, like, what's currently there on one map and then what you would like to do on another, not what's currently there, what you thought you wanted to do and now what you want to do.
Right.
So right now, there's nothing there in terms of,
It's just one big
It's
parcel.
one big parcel.
And it's how many acres?
44 there. Yeah.
And that's what you're proposing to do now?
So that in addition to what is delineated here, aside from that line.
Well, what does that mean in addition? I'm not trying to be difficult.
No, I
understand what,
But you want this parcel here?
yeah, that part,
But this is Cole Road.
And looking at this map, I'll fill my maps clarify things just because it shows where this is. So parcel 1 and 2 here would be a single lot. What's referred to here as parcel 3 would be a single lot, and then parcel 4 here would be a third lot.
okay. Okay.
So really, you'd only be making 3 still. You'd have this whole side, this area, and then a little triangle.
And
Okay, where would the triangle be on?
You're saying where would this be on this map?
Yeah.
Right here. So there's that line along that line.
Okay, so
This Cole Road or this 103?
That 103 and that's Cole Road.
So where's the triangle?
right here.
Oh,
It's this right here. Parcel 4.
okay, so this isn't the whole parcel.
right.
I have to admit, I haven't realized that.
Okay, this parcel goes all the way to 103. That's why we're missing 103.
I'm missing.
Okay, because I'm like, that little triangle turns into that. How's that work?
Because I thought that somehow this was turned back
Oh,
the other way, yeah,
is that the rest of it?
no.
Or is that by the south?
That's the same map.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it is the other way. Sorry.
So looking at this, you're saying there'd be, is it this piece that we?
Correct.
Alright, so that would be a parcel, this would be a parcel, and then all of this would be a parcel?
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a, all of this is not depicted in one place. You had to look at,
Yeah,
I see.
thank you.
John, were we able to follow that?
No.
Sorry.
All right.
So these steps, what you call super substantial forward.
It'll be fine.
So just to clarify, in the 2024 map, it does not capture the entirety of the existing single parcel.
Right.
It only captures
One end of it.
one end of it, which I apologise, I have not realised that. I was doing something of a rush. There we go.
Yeah, so my first question, sorry to interrupt, is do we have 3 or 4 parcels in the proposed?
Great, 3.
Looks like 3 to me.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 out of the 1.
Was what they want.
So it's not really a combination of both surveys. There's a different.
They're starting over.
Well, it's kind of, they want to use the same dividing down the center, I guess, and that's about
You
it.
use the previous pins and just add
Yeah.
Use this one and then that there. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but not the 1 and 2 division.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you have your, is it Farnsworth? Can you have them? Well, okay. So you use a different surveyor for this new piece?
Correct. Yeah, Cody Hicks.
That's what makes it fun.
I mean, I think eventually we're gonna need a plat that shows the entire existing parcel and
The proposed
the
subdivision.
proposed subdivision. So,
Because if you submit this, if we're confused, just imagine if somebody else is,
Sure.
without you, would be here to straighten this out, reading this thing.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's a copy of this one.
I think I would agree, we need a plat that shows the property in its entirety along with the proposed subdivision overlaid on.
I mean, I'm not trying to make you go through a lot of hoops here, but it seems like the easiest thing would be go back to Farnsworth and say, can you take out that line there and put a new line up there?
Either that or
Yeah.
whoever did that there.
Yeah, maybe they could,
Just take that line out. Here.
right. It's just that hanging out on the location,
Yeah,
but doesn't give us a full survey of the whole lot.
yeah, we still need the full survey because that one's a full survey, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's the advantage of the Farnsworth survey is that it's a survey of the entire existing parcel.
Did your current surveyor do the entire parcel?
He ground truthed a bit further up just so that he could, or rather just to calibrate his equipment. He found some of the previously placed pins, but not all of them. But in reference to those pins, the new parcel should be correct.
So there's pins from the first survey out there already?
Yep.
The survey was never recorded.
Yep.
But it doesn't look like there are any pins along that line that you want to make disappear, just at the endpoints.
Correct. Or-
Yes,
Right.
that's correct.
That's fine here.
Oh, over there.
Now.
And has your new surveyor placed pins for the new lot?
Yes.
Would it be able, this new surveyor be able to use that survey and make a plat?
That's the question I was asking myself.
Yeah, if your current surveyor that you're using be able to make a plat that shows the entire property with the proposed subdivision and the pins that are on it that you're using,
You're asking
if he can do that.
Essentially, I think what we're asking is, could your new surveyor use this and recreate this, but place the pins, the new pins on it?
Or something to that similar, because we need the entire parcel on the map.
Right, yeah. And I think you just have to blow up the vicinity map there, which should be easy enough because that does capture all the parcels. So he does have that information already delineated digitally.
Except I'm not sure the vicinity map has the meets and bounds for all the lines.
And it's also got that the old line
Right.
that they want to eliminate.
Presumably, he could just delete that.
Right, yeah.
I'm just saying the old survey has, the bearings and the distances of all the lines.
It needs to look like the old survey.
Yeah, absolutely. But he does have those lines digitized anyway, so it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. For sure.
Not about the survey.
Right. So I think the summary is, at least from what I can get from here, is that we want to have a plat that shows the proposal in total, one plat that shows the configuration that you wish to have, the three lots and their precise configuration. In addition to that, we have other things in the checklist that we both need to have and want to have. Access from the town highways or state highways. It depends on whether you expect to access these lots from what appears to be Route 103 on the south or Cole Road on the north end. I think, I don't have the list in front of me, maybe another commissioner does, but I think we also want to see perennial streams on the plat. I believe there is one on the western side, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we want to see that. And class 2 wetlands, I believe there's one of those somewhere around the utility right of way, maybe somewhere around there.
Yep.
I didn't see any on the wetlands inventory map. There was the flood hazard area, and then there was a soil hydrology delineation on the southern portion.
Okay.
But I didn't see any formally classified wetlands.
Yeah, there's I don't have the designation in front of me here, unfortunately. But we have the wetlands, I think, indicated on both the future land use map for the town plan and the maybe one of the other ones, but certainly the future land use map. And your surveyor should be able to easily grab those and figure, I mean, we could also assist in where we got the wetlands information. It's certainly from the state, so that's something we would want on the plat. Anything else? Am I forgetting, folks, commissioners?
Want me to post the checklist?
It wouldn't hurt if you can to just go through that now. I like to try to get the information out there early rather than have people have to come back, and that
Sure.
is everybody.
Signature block.
Yeah, don't they have to have a signature block as well for the owners?
It should have a signature block for us. That's right. Good. Right. Guys, there's one for the. Actually, that's on the old one, but not the new one.
Yeah. Yeah, the old one has it there.
Yeah. It's a little hard to see on my screen, so let me see. Yeah, we would need that. It was worth putting on the list that we need that.
The minor subdivision checklist. Map size needs to be 18 by 24. The standard survey's title block to include date, scale, due north, owner's name and address, surveyor's name and address. Minimum scales to use 100 acres or more is 400 feet per inch. 25 to 99 acres is 200 feet per inch.
Okay, yeah, because we got 1 to 40. That's why it doesn't fit on one page. Okay.
Total acreage of the entire subdivision, total acreage per lot, numbered lots.
It doesn't have the whole thing.
Yeah, we don't have
Right.
to like.
That should, I believe, be in the notes, perhaps not.
Yeah, right here, well, acres, pre-subdivision, 43.54.
Now, you have a state wastewater and water supply permit, is that correct?
Yes, and there was the initial filing and then 2 amendments. So each of the proposed lots would have its own wastewater permit.
So the latest amendment is consistent with what you're proposing today?
Correct.
Okay. Utility access, I'm just going through I'm skipping the items on the checklist that pertain to the septic design, since you've got permits in the state on that. Utility access, location, size of existing and proposed culverts, drains, water mains, and septic. Location, names, and widths of existing and proposed driveways.
Yeah.
Are there proposed access routes to the new lots?
Do either the 2 lots that currently exist there have access to them already, or?
Yes, we both.
They already have access.
Yep.
And
And the proposed.
The new one.
The new one also does.
Existing and proposed buildings. Are there any existing buildings on here?
2.
Yeah. 2. Are they shown on there?
No, this one.
Not on that one. I don't see them on this one.
Okay. Here, we'll see. So we need the signature block on it.
Well, the checklist is in the package, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Well, just interrupt real quick, Andy. So
Yeah.
there is no planned development, no new buildings. The buildings that are there will remain, correct?
The buildings that are there would remain. Additionally, there would be a small 24 by 32 foot building near the most recent wastewater system.
And that building would be on one of the new lots
So
or?
it'd be on this spot right here. Here's the new wastewater from
I see.
well.
And there's a permit for that, a wastewater permit for that new building? Is that what?
Correct, yep, and the mound is actually in place, as is the well.
And which lot is, sorry, just for my, which lot is that we're talking about?
Would be the small lot of like number 3 on the newest map.
On Cole, that faces on Cole Road?
Yeah.
The newest.
It's not on that one. It'd be here.
No, I'm just looking at something else, sorry. Okay.
So the new building would be in connection with a gravel drive, is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
and the location of that is actually shown on the wastewater permit. I don't believe it's on the new map.
it's on this,
The driveway's on the new map as well.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
so-
you go to the list or?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Natural water courses, marshes and wooded areas.
I think there's a bridge and the creek runs on the south side of the property, I believe.
No, west side.
West side. Sorry, I'll learn to read a map one day.
Okay. So when you say it's on the west side, is it on the property or is it off on the other side of the property line?
A portion of it is on the property and then it becomes off the property. Yes.
Right. So the survey would need to indicate at least the portion that's on the property. Proximity to existing public facilities, type of proposed construction, i.e. residential, multifamily, business. And you already indicated here, what was the size that you're building?
24 foot by 32 foot.
Okay. So, well, is that intended to be a single family residence?
Correct.
Alternative sewage and wastewater disposal, I assume that was part of your wastewater permit,
That's if he's got a mound, there's great site. So
but he said he does have a mound.
yeah, I said if they have a mound, then it's the same spot.
Oh, okay. The description, any applicable covenants and easements, temporary markers that would enable the commission to locate readily to appraise the basic layout in the field. There's the calculation of the fee and copies of other permit applications. That's all, in Appendix A of our subdivision regulations. So you might just want to double check those, before you get submit the next version of the plat to make sure that you've got everything covered.
That everything's on the plat for it.
Okay.
So do we think that we can get that next month, or do you think the surveyor might need more time? Do we have any estimate on that?
I can send him an email and see. He went from visiting the site to giving me a map in a week. So I think he could probably turn it around quickly.
Cool. Okay.
I have a question, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
It looks to me like the application you submitted is a version dated from 2022, and there's a more current version. I can't tell you off the top of my head what the differences are, but and this isn't the first time that someone has submitted.
This is, as I understand it, on our own website, the current version.
Yes. The 2022, the 2021, the old one.
Oh, it's the 2021, that's the only one.
Yeah, if
That's
it's,
right.
it's September, right?
Yeah, okay. I take it all back. When I first read it, I thought it said 2021, and as I sat here reading it, I see it's 2022. So apologies. We've got the current one there.
All right, I think that we're at the point where, unless there's anything else, any other further discussion, I will hope for a plat that meets those requirements next month, and then I think we should be pretty much headed straight to a hearing after that. We can schedule a hearing next month, hopefully. Does that sound right to everybody?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear if there was disagreement.
I think everyone agreed.
We all agree.
No disagreement.
Okay. Is there any further discussion from the Coles? Would you like to ask any questions or any other comments?
Hopefully so.
All right, great. Okay, cool. We'll look forward to that and hopefully get that going for you. All right, so we can switch over to the Robert Garrow subdivision, and I think we're not going to be discussing the application today. That's, I guess, temporarily paused while they pursue Act 250. But we do have I'm just going to hand it over to Andy because I think that's the best way to do it. Andy has prepared a draft response to his attorney that we should probably discuss tonight. Andy, would you like to take that?
Sure. I guess, as I understand it, Mr. Garrow did resubmit his application authorizing the commission to speak with his surveyor and his attorney. But as I also understand, the attorney here identified is not Mr. Corsons, who wrote the letter. So who is the attorney that he did authorize?
Christopher Blanchard.
Sorry, say that again?
Christopher Blanchard,
Okay.
who is also in Rutland.
Is it possible that he's at the same firm?
I don't think so.
Carriel.
I don't believe so, because the letter from, I mean, I can take that up, but the letter from, Mr. Corsons didn't have Christopher Blanchard listed on it.
Yeah.
Is that partner?
The email address of Christopher Blanchard is, I think it's cwbtlaw.com, whereas Chris is Corsons.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No. Attorneys are.
So, have all the other commissioners seen Mr. Corson's letter? Have you had a chance to look at the draft that I prepared with help from John?
Yes.
I'll just say that, I read the letter. I was surprised to see some of the statements there, which seemed incorrect. And it seemed appropriate to respond to Mr. Corsons, even though he's, wasn't the individual who Mr. Garrow identified as his attorney. Mr. Corsons is nonetheless written to us.
It deserves a response.
It deserves a response.
Clarification.
Right. So I guess since all of you have seen it, do any of you have any questions, concerns about it, that it requires changes, or do we think it's okay to send it out?
I think it's quite well written.
Yeah, I just question because he didn't, and I understand probably why, but just, I'm going to say this mess of misstatements, if you will, started in February. And we only talked about the last 2 months.
Those were the ones that were brought up in question by Mr. Corsons.
Right.
So
I was just trying to address the ones that he raised.
Yeah. Address his questions that he had.
But for example, with the Nortons, he started, submitted the paperwork. If I remember correctly, he said, look, you got the wrong form. We're willing to work with this, just resubmit a new form and we'll start as if you submitted the right form. And this was in February.
Right.
And then he said,
So are you suggesting that maybe we should be clearer in the letter that we've been having these discussions with him since February?
yeah, I think so. I just don't know how to say it.
We can figure out that part. Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't phrase it well just now either, but
I think it might just be enough to add a sentence saying, you know, these discussions with, you know, with Mr. Garrow have been ongoing since February.
yeah.
I think the letter does say that he first made the accusation of the monuments having been moved at the first meeting following the submission of his application. I'm not sure the letter says that meeting was in February, but we could say that.
Yeah.
That would be,
You know,
just to show that it's been going on for a while. This isn't
right.
something new.
And we don't have to go into the rest of it, but like at that time, we just suggested the parties get together with the surveyors
And
and
figure
straighten it out.
Yeah.
Leave us out of it.
Yeah. Jim, do you have any thoughts, concerns, worries?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it right there.
Okay. Right. So, John, my view is that since you hold the title of chair, then the letter should probably be sent by you. But you could also designate someone else if you'd like to.
Yeah, I'm fine with sending it. I think we should probably get Mr. Garrow's consent to engage with Mr. Corsones, because at the moment he is a third party. What do you guys think?
Reach out to Mr. Corsones and let him, just notify them that he is a third party. You would like to respond to him, but until he is not a third party, we can't.
Well, he claims to be writing on behalf of Mr. Garrow.
This is true. Just so he doesn't keep blowing him off.
Faith, have we had any discussion with Mr. Garrow in the last month?
No,
Has he responded to you in the past?
since the last planning commission meeting.
But he has responded to you on occasion, right?
But he has not had any communication with me since the last planning commission meeting.
We have his email on the application, right? He sent us email in the past. All right, I think just as if nothing else, a courtesy, I'm going to give Mr. Garrow an email telling him that we received this letter and that we would like his consent to respond to Mr. Corsones directly. And then I can send Mr. Corsones a letter as we've discussed.
I will, I guess, I will make the changes that we just discussed, specifying that this began in February. Is it, I think perhaps, I should also add something to it indicating that this reflects the views of all the commissioners.
I think
Right?
that
It's not just John's opinion or mine, but all of ours.
right. You could make that turn that into a motion if you want to.
So move that you add to the letter that all commissioners are in agreement with what is stated in your draft.
I'll second that. I'll second that.
Sounds like all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
All in favor?
All right, I will add that.
Okay, unanimous. All right, thank you. So with that, I'll sort of take
Thank
the
you.
organization to send it to the attorney. I
I
would rather my name be on it than anyone else's. And if Mr. Garrow wants to complain about anybody to the select board, it should be me. And if he has any need to discuss this with anyone personally, he can come talk to me.
I have a thought. I'm not sure what I'm not sure my own thinking about what the answer is, but you know, depending on how you phrase your email to Mr. Garrow, I mean, you could say, if I don't hear back from you, I will assume you consent. That way, if he ignores you, you can assume he has consent. On the other hand, if you say, please let me know, then he can kind of, then you're in a waiting game, because if he doesn't get back to you, you don't know anything. So I'm just gonna, I think if I were writing to him, I would say, you know, Mr. Corsone's letter represents that he is your attorney, and I just wanted to confirm that, since your application didn't designate him. If I don't hear back from you in the next 2 days or whatever, I'll assume that his representation is correct. Something like that.
Fair enough. I'll try that.
I was going to say, another question, would it be appropriate to email Mr. Cornswell to just let him know that as of now, he was not unauthorized?
From CC on email.
Well, the letter says that he's not, well, he hasn't been designated.
Yeah, just without sending him the letter with all the like, extra information, like we would like to respond to you, but as of now, you are not an authorized agent for Mr. Garrow.
I understand the concern. I think my worry is that then we can't respond to Mr. Corsone's until Mr. Garrow affirmatively says something approving it, and there's a secondary message in that to Mr. Corsone's that I'm reluctant to give, which is that, you know, we're doubting your representation to us, that you're his attorney. So, yeah, I think that's yeah, we don't have reason to doubt that, really. So, I think if John writes to Mr. Garrow, we'll know soon enough, and be able to send a letter soon enough.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, great. Is there any further discussion on Garrow subdivision from anyone present?
Can I say that again, John?
Is there any further discussion on this matter or on the Garrow subdivision from anyone present, commissioners or people in attendance, public in attendance?
Any question?
The boss over there says no.
Nothing at the moment.
Yeah, we will continue to keep you all updated on any information we get regarding the Act 250 process. And we haven't seen anything from that yet, as far as I know. All right. So moving on, I think that we're pretty close to done. Do we have anything else on the agenda tonight?
Other correspondence?
Do we have any? I actually don't, speaking of Act 250, I actually don't know where we are with the other one on 103. Last I heard, they were still working through the application, but do you have anything else on the white construction or the master plumbing or whatever it is?
I have not seen anything.
Signing that.
We don't
If it's on here.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we have any other correspondence, do we?
So, well, the only other correspondence was, it wasn't actually clear that it was relevant to us, but there was an email regarding, sorry, I have to bring it up, a study by FEMA, I think.
Oh, the morphology studies.
Yeah, the morphology studies, which didn't actually include Mount Holly, so I'm a bit unclear as to why it was being sent to us. But
Oh, it does. It concerns Branch Brook. So the discovery process, so FEMA's in the process of updating basically flood hazard maps, and all like our three main watersheds are all impacted: the West River, the Black River through Branch Brook, and the Otter Creek through Mill River. And they're all in various stages of completion, and it's still going to be, I think, a couple of years before that gets finalized. But they kind of regularly give us these updates, and I wasn't actually able to get logged in to see what this update entailed, but it's sort of an ongoing process. So at some point in the next 5 years or so, we'll have new floodplain maps that'll probably, hopefully more accurate. So. All right. I think that's it. Should we end it? First of all, any public comments from anyone?
None.
All right. Upcoming meetings. Just have
No unfinished business? No new business?
I don't think so. Am I forgetting something?
I think so.
Okay. Next month's meeting, regular time, regular place.
Next meeting.
July. The 17th?
13 p.m.
July 17. $7 All right. Anything else, or we're done? This kid over here needs to get to bed. All right. The meeting is adjourned, 7:53. Thank you, everybody.